Hi everyone, it's Dakota. Happy Monday. I want to talk today about altars, all things altars, and I know that there are several videos, hundreds of videos out there on altars, and so this isn't really anything new, with the exception of this, that I want to add. And I really didn't see much out there on this, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and just discuss this a little bit. So as I've said before, I own a metaphysical shop here in Eastern North Carolina. I would say that probably on a daily basis, or every other day, we have people coming into the shop who are just now discovering their path, or they know that there's something different going on with them. And whether it's witchcraft or Wicca or the pagan, Norse pagan community, or whatever it is, they know that there's something different going on. And so they come in and they want to know, oh, I've read the books, I'm really confused, the books are confusing, or I don't really grasp it, I don't really understand it, and I really want to set up an altar so that I can start doing work. So can you tell me what I need for my altar, and can you tell me how to set up my altar? And my answer is, I'm always I don't like that question, because, sorry, trying to turn my music down. It sort of takes me aback a little bit, because no, I can't. I mean, I can't help you. I cannot tell you what you should have on your altar and what you need on your altar. I simply can't do it, because all altars are personal, with the exception of if you are in a coven, a traditional coven, structured coven, that has a specific way and a rhyme and a reason that the altar is set up that way. Everyone is in agreement that the altar is set up that way for this particular reason. Other than that, outside of this circle, then you can set up your altar any way that suits you, that you want. But if I tell the customer that, if I say that to the customer, that you can just set it up however you want, it's discouraging for them. And I don't want anybody to be discouraged. It's hard, as you know, to just be starting out on this path without any sort of mentorship or guidance other than the books. Because even though I feel the community is growing, at least it is here in our community, or at least I see the numbers in my store, it's still a very, very small community. Not all of us are free to speak openly about our path and our beliefs. So we are still very much, sadly, in the closet. And so when they come to me and they want to know, and they tell me I'm new to this and I know nothing, they're very vulnerable. And how do I set up my altar? I don't know. I don't know how to set up my altar, and I need your help. I need some advice. So that's what I try to do. So I wrote down a list of things, different types of altars, and different reasons that you would have an altar. So you could have a devotional altar, which means an altar that is set up specifically for devotions. If you have a specific deity, a god or a goddess, say, that you are devoted to, that would be one thing, one type of altar. It could be you only bring out altars when there is a Sabbath, the holidays, Yule, Imbolc, Beltane, all the Sabbaths. Maybe you only like to pull out an altar. Maybe you only want to have an altar for SBATs, for the moons, for a moon ritual, something like that. Or maybe you just want an altar to do your magical stuff on. There are seasonal altars, those that set up an altar for, spring to summer, summer to fall, fall to winter, then winter back up to spring. They do seasonal altars. There are so many different types of altars. There are big, huge, elaborate, glamorous altars with all the things related to that particular thing that you're going to be doing. If it's a summer solstice altar, then all the things related to summer solstice, the sunflowers, a sun candle holders, all the flowers of maybe the oils that represent all the flowers of summer, jasmine, gardenia, just all the flowers, carnelians, and then maybe all the herbs that are related. Anything and everything that relates to summer solstice is on your altar. It's this big, elaborate, glorious, beautiful altar full of all the things. And then you have people like me. I've talked a little bit in the past about my OCD, and I'm not 100% healed, but I'm real I'm there, close enough, but not with my altars, because I am very simple. I like simplistic. Simple is better for me. Although I love the altars with all the things, I do. If I'm there to do the work, I'm sidetracked. Remember, I'm a squirrel. I try to stay on topic, and something catches my eye. You see it right here in the video. I'll be like, oh, excuse me, this is happening over here, or I'm that person that's scattered. And so when I come in to do my work, I only want on my altar what I need for my work. And my work is pre-thought out. If I'm doing summer solstice, what do I need for summer solstice? Well, I need this, this, and this. Okay, then that's what's going to be on my altar. Do I need sunflowers? No, I don't need the sunflowers. Do I need the sun candle holders? No, I don't need them. They're cute. And maybe if I found some really cute ones, I would have them. Do I need all the oils? Do I need all the herbs? Do I need all the little the things that make this big, beautiful summer solstice altar? For me, the answer is going to be no. Because what am I here for? I'm here to give gratitude and thanks and blessings for the summer solstice, for the Sabbath of summer solstice, for Litha. And that is all that I want on my altar. Now, I may want a special incense or a special summer solstice candle. I will have made those. Pardon me, I will have made those previously on my magical altar. So there's a different altar. It's a magical altar. I only use it for magical things. And I would have made my incense, and I would have made my candle for summer solstice, and those would already be on my altar so that I am not distracted. Oh, I've got to blend the herbs, and I've got to add the oils, and I've got to dress the candle and do all of that. Those are things that are all acceptable. Don't get me wrong. Those are all acceptable. And they're all very fun to do. I'm a squirrel. A squirrel should be my spirit animal, but thank goodness it's not. Not that I don't like squirrels. I do. See, there I go. But to have all of that, I'm going to be going, oh, that bottle is not centered with that, or, oh, oops, this is crooked, or too much, and I forget why I'm here. I have why I'm here up here. I know why I'm here. I'm here to give gratitude to summer solstice, to Litha, whatever you would like to call it. I am here. I have written down, remember my boss, my pages for ritual? I have written down what it is I would like to say. Maybe I've written a poem. Maybe I have a hymn. Maybe I have a song. Anything like that. I have that with me. But I don't have all the stuff to look at and to get distracted. I know what I'm going to do in my head, and that is all the focus that I need. Now, I do have my tools. Yes, I do. I do. I will have my statues. I've got all the tools that I feel are. I don't use all of my tools at every altar setting. I don't have them all out on my altar. I just don't. If I don't need it, why would I have it? It doesn't make sense to me. So, therefore, I only have on my altar what I need at that particular time. Not to mean that you can't have any and everything on your altar. You certainly can. So, of all the altars, there is the Sabbath altars, the moon phase, or the moon phase altars, the Esbats, the devotional altars, maybe an ancestor altar. You can have an element altar. That you could have 4 altars if you're working with the 4 elements and you want to work with them specifically in their own area with things devoted to that element. If you're working with the element of fire, maybe you just want a fire altar with only those things representing fire, and next to it is earth, and or you could just have an elemental altar because you're doing elemental work, and so your altar only has all the elements represented on it. Some people have home altars or hearth altars. They're right there in the house, right in there. As soon as you come in the door, maybe that's where their hearth altar is, or above the fireplace, or it's kitchen witches. They have their altars in their kitchens. So, the only time I get to ever do anything is in the bathroom. I like to have a little altar in there, so a meditation altar. That's in the bathroom. Okay, great. What do you like to put on your meditation altar? What is it that you like to use? I like incense and I like candles. Fantastic. That's great. Are you trying to relax? How about adding maybe some amethyst, some tourmaline for grounding? So it doesn't have to be this big elaborate. It can be whatever you want. And that's when you get to determine what you want and what you should have on your altar. What are you doing? What are you working on? You just want an altar to represent that you're a witch? I can tell you, I could give you, listen, come to my store, I could tell you a lot of things. but I don't like to do that, because I could sell you one of everything. Oh, well, you need to have a chalice because you have to have your libation. You have to have you have to have your wine or your offering of mead or apple juice or whatever it is that you drink. So you have to have a chalice. You have to have incense burning. Therefore, you need this incense burner, and you can't use stick or cone. You must have resin. Therefore, you need to have charcoal and resin and a burner that can withstand the heat. Oh, hey, let me sell you this sand to go on the bottom. We must have a cauldron because my channel, the Hallowed Cauldron. You must have a cauldron on your altar. You got to have the wand, and you have to have this, and you have to, you just don't have to have. You just don't have to have all the tools. You will eventually get all the tools. Trust me, you will eventually get all the tools. But to go out and just simply purchase and spend your hard-earned money on the tools in one lump, there might be a tool that you don't use. It just doesn't resonate with you, and you just don't use that. Oh, but it looks pretty on the altar. Okay, then put it on the altar. Because it doesn't matter. If you like that and it excites you and it and it makes you feel more empowered and brings you more focus into what you're doing, then put it on your altar. So that's just my point. And no matter what book I have read, and I'm a book reader, I've plenty of books I've read, plenty of books on my to-do list that I haven't read. I am a collector of books. I've got to have this book. I'm going to get it now because I may not ever get to get it again. And it goes in the collection. But I'm telling you, I've never read one book that says, you must do this. This goes here because of this. This goes here because of this. You must have this because of this. The books are giving you suggestions and they're giving you ideas, unless there are exceptions, unless it is a specific, like I said, if it is, I'm sorry, this is so uncomfortable. If it is specific to, say, Wicca, and maybe a specific tradition of Wicca, they might have specific tools that you must have and that must be represented on the altar for whatever reason, because that is part of their tradition. But if you are not part of their tradition, you don't have to have that. You know, it's part of their tradition because it's what they believe. That's what they use. But if you don't use that, then what would be the purpose of going out and buying it or making it just because, oh, well, it's a witch tool? I mean, you can, because there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can, but the point is you don't have to. You don't have to have an elaborate altar. But if you like them, and that just brings you the joy and the happiness and really puts you in the mood, then do that. Do that thing. Have all the things. But if you're like me and you get distracted, then don't have all the things, because then I'm distracted, and I'm going to be trying to do my work, and I'm going to be going, that's not balanced. That's crooked. That was my phone. I'm so sorry. I thought I had it on mute. So I'm going to be distracted. So there again, an altar setup is so extremely personal. Some people put certain tools on the left for certain reasons. Some put them on the right for certain reasons. It could just be aesthetics. Some people may not even care. Well, today I think I'm going to put this over here because I feel like it. Fantastic. That's great. I mean, I don't care. I mean, that is the joy of this. We have such freedom. We have such freedom to do what touches our soul, what touches our heart, what makes you feel good, and what just feels right to you. My phone. I'm sorry. Kind of embarrassed. Anyway. All right, so that's all I have to say today about altars. I think I covered everything. There's all different kinds of altars that you can have. That is the bottom line. Anything from a high ceremonial devotional altar to the simplest altar in a can, and I was going to talk about it today. There's just not enough time. I think I will do maybe a part 2, okay? We'll do a part 2. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow if I have time, and I'll post it tomorrow, Tuesday. If not, I'll do it next week, and it'll be titled All Things Altar Part 2. So I'll go ahead and call this one All Things Altar Part 1. I guess. All right. So I hope that cleared up a few things. I know it was kind of fast and speedy, but I just wanted to let you know that, altars are they're just personal. And, You don't have to have all the tools all at once. They will come. Be creative. You can go out, you can make things. You can buy things inexpensively if you're on a budget. You can come to the metaphysical stores and you can buy really cool, neat, pretty things if that's within your budget. So that's it. It's very personal. Reflect on this. If you don't have an altar and you're trying to figure it out, what kind of an altar do I need, and what do I need for the altar? How do I set it up? What kind of things do I need? Just take a moment, if you will, and just sort of reflect on what is it that you're trying to do? What is it that you want? What is the end result? You're drawn to witchcraft, let's say. What is it about witchcraft that you're drawn to? And just reflect on that. Journal it down, jot it down, and go from there. Okay? So, it looks like I might see you tomorrow, Tuesday. If not, I'll see you next Monday for Altars Part 2. Okay? So, have a great weekend, great week, or overnight if I see you tomorrow. And take care, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Bye. Oh, comment and subscribe and share. Thank you. Mwah. Bye.